how to handle emotionally immature people. If you're listening and you're like, oh yeah, I can name a few.
Yes.
What do we do?
What
We'll
do we
give you some
do?
pointers.
Yeah.
Number one, set firm boundaries. And I think that's such a good one to start with. So defining what behavior you're willing to tolerate and actually sticking to it and upholding those boundaries. And what those boundaries are doing is actually creating safety within it's creating safety for you. And actually it's creating safety for the other person too. It's creating almost like these guidelines of like, this is how you can be in relationship with me.
Yeah.
And sticking to that, upholding your boundaries, being firm in whatever the boundary is that you're setting and like what you are or are not willing to tolerate from this person. And so some of that stuff might be like, I'm not willing to listen to you to like tear me down anymore, or I'm not willing to let you yell at me anymore. I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to, sit around and experience that anymore. Or whatever the behavior is on the other end that you're just like, this isn't okay anymore. I'm not willing to do this anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like one that I see a lot, like have seen a lot or like have heard, just made contact with a lot of people in my time and my work and everything with emotionally immature parents or like relationships is, really just like picking and choosing like how vulnerable you are with these people. And that is actually a boundary, right? Because it's like going into the hardware store for bread. We've talked about this before, but if you are having a conversation with somebody who lacks the capacity to like, actually have the conversation or not project or criticize or whatever the thing is, that we see emotionally immature people do, that's like a boundary you have to have with yourself is like, actually, this isn't a conversation that's safe to have. I love this person. I want to have a relationship with this person. And I know I can't actually talk about this.
No, that's such a good point because it's like setting the boundary, but you don't have to verbalize the boundary. That's like just a personal internal boundary that you've set of like, I'm going to protect my own emotional safety and well-being by not sharing or just by choosing to not engage with this person in these certain ways because I know something's going to be weaponized or I'm going to be made fun of or rejected or mocked or whatever the thing is, right? So yeah, I think that's a really good point where sometimes the boundaries are spoken and shared with the other person and very structured and rigid and whatever, but sometimes they're very personal and quiet and for you. And upholding those, I think, is important in both scenarios.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. Boundaries are like most of the time boundaries are for us as the individual, not for the other person to hear about. They're just for us to carry. So, another like thing for another tool for handling emotionally immature people, is just not taking things personally, like in this sense that you understanding that their reactions, defensiveness, tantrums, etc., are about their limited emotional capacity, not us as the individual. And that's not to like say that like because of that we should enable the behavior or we should like tolerate certain things, but this is to say that like when we're able to actually like have empathy and compassion for the other person of like they simply don't have this skill and like their capacity is not there for this, that actually creates a little bit more ease and less like I think friction in the relationship of trying to either like understand where they're coming from or like change how they show up. This just allows like a little bit more ease in how we're engaging with each other.
Yeah, I think it can take away some of the like shame spirals that can happen. If you're taking everything personally, you're going to start thinking like, I'm bad, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I deserve to be treated like this, like all those things because you're thinking that it's about you, but it's not about you, it's about them. Like it's a reflection of what's going on in their own internal emotional landscape and they've got stuff to work through.